is my triangle. Now my triangle says base times height. Well, as it sits, this looks like my base. Well, if you use this as your base, then that would be your height. Well, we don't know either one of those. So if you hold your head cattywampus, and let me do this. Let me take a picture of that.
Couldn't either one of them.
And if I do this, can you see this is my base and this is my height?
Okay, yeah.
So this is gonna be my base and this is gonna be my height. Because height has to be straight up and down. So my base is 10, my height is 8. What's 10 times 8? Half of the 80.
40.
40 minus 4?
36.
Yards squared. All right? What's my shapes?
Square.
And
Sir.
circle doesn't start with a C.
No.
Formula for a square. Side times side, because all the sides are the same. Formula for a circle, pi r squared.
3.14.
16 times 16, 3.14. Now, for those of you who don't know what a radius is, when you have a bicycle wheel, a radius is like a spoke. It goes from the middle to the outside edge. That is called a radius.
Hey, what that last answer was? 36 square. You went so fast.
I know, girl. I ate my Wheaties today.
Okay.
36 squared. Now, a radius is halfway through a bicycle
So you're
wheel.
gonna cut the 16 in half?
So, if you go all the way through a bicycle wheel, that's called a diameter. The way that I keep them straight, diameter is a long word. Radius is a short word. So if the diameter is 20, what would the radius be?
10.
If the radius is 5, what would the diameter be?
10.
10. So if you know the diameter, the radius is half. If you know the radius, the diameter is double. And we should all know what pi is, 3.14. Okay? I had my baby induced so that I would have her bring home on Pi Day, March 14th, 3.14. So, for this problem, if this is 16, do we agree this is 16 because they told us it was a square? And if we bring that down, do we agree that this is 16? Which makes that the diameter. But for our problem, we don't need the diameter, we need the radius. So what would my radius be? My radius would be 8. So we have a square. We have a square, which is here, which is my 16 by 16. And if I take away my circle, which is here, that's what I'm going to be left with. So I take the area of my square, the area of my circle, and I'm going to subtract them. So I'm going to do 16 times 16. 16 times 16 and 3.14 times 8 to the second. And so 256 minus 200.96. Whoop, there it is. That easy breezy. Now, that would be the area of those itty bitty little corners. Right here. Now, I have so many people say, when am I ever going to use this crap? I'll tell you when you're going to use this crap. I'm a vegetarian. But my husband right now, he still talks about schoolhouse pizza. The square schoolhouse pizza. He loved that schoolhouse pizza. I know. I won't even touch it. But he said back in the day, I used to get schoolhouse pizza before I played football. Schoolhouse pizza. And so we had this long discussion about why schoolhouse pizza square And why is regular pizza round when you go to Pizza Hut or wherever? So at dinner, my daughter doesn't eat much meat either because she's like her mama. But my daughter, the only pizza she will eat is Totino's, which my husband says tastes like cardboard, which I wouldn't know because I don't eat any kind of pizza. Well, if you buy Totino's pizza, they have now gone to square pizzas. Okay, the little single serve is now square. You can buy it round or you can buy it square. I think they've all gone square now. So we had a long discussion, me, my husband, and my 11-year-old daughter. We actually had the discussion in Walmart, but it continued at home because they know I'm stupid. So the discussion was whether you buy a 12-inch square pizza or whether you buy a 12-inch round pizza. And why? If they're the same amount of money. So if I'm going to spend $1 for a 12-inch square or $1 for a 12-inch round, which one am I going to buy? Well, we want to know the area. Because Madison wants the most pizza for her. She wants to get the most pizza when she puts it in the oven. So what's the formula for the area of a square? Length times width or side times side. So how would I find the area of the first one? 12 times 12, which is 144. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Inches squared. So if I go to the next one, this one's a circle, so the formula is pi r squared. So 3.14 times, well, 12 inches means it's 12 inches across, which is also referred to as the diameter, but for the formula, we need the radius, which is 6. So we're going to do 3.14 times 6 squared. About this time is when they start tuning me out. This one has an area of 113.04. If they're the same money, which one are we going to buy? The square one, because y'all, look at this problem. This is a 16-inch round on top of a 16-inch square. So when you buy a round pizza, you're losing all those yellow corners right there. So the schoolhouse, as my husband calls it, which drives me crazy because it makes him sound like an old man. The schoolhouse does the square pizzas because they can feed more people. Domino's and Pizza Hut do the round ones to try to cheat people. You with me?
That makes sense. Because the Italian restaurants do this is great squares, they do square ones, and it does seem like more.
There you go. You're actually getting, we could subtract that and figure out how much you're getting according to what size you are. How stinking freaking cool is that? I mean, math is everywhere, y'all.
Now when I go to pizza, I'll be thinking about you.
I told you. Okay, now let's talk about a basketball goal. A basketball court. Let's say a basketball court is 80 feet by 30 feet. And I want to know what area, when I play a basketball game and you say I run every square foot of that court, how much area am I actually running? Well, in order to do area, I have to know the shapes. What shapes do you see when you run up and down the court? What shapes do y'all see?
Circles, rectangles.
Do you see the rectangle there, which is the actual court? Now, if I take that piece and this piece, and I pull them down and put them together, do you see that's like an Easter egg? Like one of those that you put candy in the middle of? So, I have a rectangle and I have a full egg. Am I adding or am I subtracting? I am adding them because I know you never gonna go to a basketball game without thinking of Miss Cooper. There's that damn egg. So there's my basketball court, and here's my egg. You got part here and part there. You with me? And we're adding because we're gluing them together. We're taping them. Okay? So,
What the formula for a full egg?
a full egg is a circle. So we're finding the area of a circle, because we want to know how much is inside. So that's pi r squared, just like we did a pizza. A rectangle's length times width. So what's the length and width of my rectangle? 30 times 80, 2400.
Yeah, 2400.
This is going to be 3.14 times. What is the radius of my egg?
15.
See how this was 30? So this piece right there is 30, which is my diameter. So my radius is going to be 15. So I go to my calculator, and I do 3.14 times 15 squared. So that one's going to be 706.5, and I add those two together, that'll give me my full court. Now, watch this. What do you see here?
A rectangle. And
I see a rectangle.
Rectangle and a circle.
And two semicircles.
Two circles.
Yeah.
So if I take this piece and I take this piece, do you see that those two still make an egg, which is a circle? Did I add or did I subtract? Subtract, because this time I took my rectangle and I took away. Y'all with me? It's like you're sucking in. You're trying to take away pounds. Where in the last problem we were poking out. We were adding pounds. So, this would be length times width minus pi r squared. So what would be my length and width?
14 and 33.
We get that answer, and this would be 3.14 times 7 squared. Now, look at this one. What's this one?
24.
What's my shape on the outside? A rectangle?
No,
Plus or minus? Minus because we sucking in. A full circle?
half.
This one's going to be a circle cut in half. See how we're only taking away half a circle? So we would do the 3.14 times 12 squared, but then we would cut that answer in half. Because we're only taking away half an egg. Y'all with me? What would this one be? A rectangle plus a circle cut in half. All right, I still got some good ones. What's that one? What's my outside shape?
the circle.
A circle, but do I need a full circle?
Yeah.
So I would do a circle cut in half. So I'm down to this piece right now. Am I adding or subtracting? Subtracting, and what would I be subtracting? Triangle. Now, for my triangle, the formula for a triangle is 1/2 base times height. What's the height? 6. What would my base be?
6.
The 6. Love you. Who said that? Love you. My base would be 12 because look, if I drew the circle, 6 is your radius, which means this would be 6 and this would be 6, so your base would be 12. All right, I'm done.
How about right here, right?